Here is Immortal Moments for explanation. Friends, like videos and subscribes to our channel. Immortality Season 6 Episode 25 Explanation. So let's start our explanation. The seven gourds, the gourd wrapped around the Hydra, is not a real snake, but a statue, secret, revealing the breath of the ancient Hongmeng. The potion inside is so tidal that people feel that it is not a pill, but it is a pharmacy of the seat. This is a statue of 9 venomous snakes. It is rumored that this snake is a ferocious beast for the ancient gods to guard the elixir. These 7 gourds are engraved with 9 venomous snakes. They are definitely superior spirits. The spirit in the middle is definitely a level of existence with Nidan. Open it quickly and see what the medicine is. Maybe it is not necessarily elixir. If you can get a biochemical pill, that's fine. I realized that the Hydra carved on the 7 gourds was the 9 snails, and immediately knew that the medicinal herbs in the 7 gourds were all good. I can't wait to watch now. But you have to be careful. These 9 snakes can spray large fossil gas. As soon as people get contaminated, they will immediately become stones and statues. It is very powerful. Fang Han also had a strange heart and thought, what kind of medicinal medicine can make such a strong medicinal scent? I have to look at it. How much is the poisonous gas of the big fossil? He did not hesitate, he slammed his hand and sent out a mana. 7 gourds were opened in turn. When the 7 gourds encountered the erosion of Fang Han mana, the 9-headed snakes carved above actually survived, and the 9 heads spurted out a poisonous gas. This poisonous gas was grey, and Fang Han deliberately made it contaminated a little. Physically, the body begins to petrify. The hard state has become a stone-like existence. The big fossil gas is really powerful. I have been repaired into a half-dead body, but it has been petrified. It is amazing, powerful. In this way, even if it is a master of Jindan, it is sprayed with a bite. If it is not resisted by the use of gas, it will be contaminated by gas. I am afraid that it is difficult to be spared. Secretly called a powerful, Fang Han body shakes, the part of the petrified, suddenly blasted, turned into a group of ***** thick fog, and then recombined, evolved, once again condensed into a body, intact, lossless. It just consumed some energy. The power of the 9-headed snake was tested. Fang Han took a hand and wrapped them in 5 colors, and then projected the mind into the 7 big gourds. Immediately, he saw 7 medicinal herbs. Among every gourd, there is only 1 medicinal herb. The medicinal herbs are all fist-sized, with flames radiating around them. These flames are formed by the condensation of medicine. The flames form a flashing portal that is looming. The medicinal gas actually condenses into a real shape. Fang Han was shocked. He recently read Ling Long's Secret for a deeper understanding of some knowledge of refining equipment and alchemy. Although it is far less than some masters of refining and alchemy masters, the basic understanding of medicinal herbs is still possible. The medicinal scent of a medicinal herb is emitted, and it can actually be condensed into a true shape, which is almost to achieve the elixir. In the rumor, the elixir of Xiandan can be condensed into a true shape, which is similar to the Shentong 9, the natural existence of the heavens and the earth. Therefore, the powerful elixir is very profitable, and even if the average person gets it, it will not be surrendered. Now, the medicinal herbs in the 7 gourds are almost condensed into true forms, and only a little bit can be changed to elixir. Although not an elixir, it is infinitely close to the elixir. In particular, the medicinal herbs in the 7 gourds are not the same. Instead, they are each color: black, white, red, green, blue, and purple. 7 colors. However, the medicine has condensed into a gateway. Obviously a set of remedies. 7 lives Xian Men Dan. He also read the gods, but also through the gourd, seeing these 7 medicinal herbs, could not help but be shocked. Obviously this drug is an important drug. 7 life Xian Men Dan? What kind of medicinal medicine is this? I have read the secrets of Ling Long. I don't seem to have seen this kind of medicinal medicine. Among the secrets of Ling Long, there are many ways to refine medicinal herbs. Ling Long secrets, most of them are refining the dragon's medicinal herbs. One said, 7 Life Xian Mendan is a set of medicinal herbs, rumored to be the 10th in the secret of Shentong, the peak period of the change of life. Take it, can thoroughly inspire your own Tian Men, valve, blood, fine. Door, bone door, life door. Then smash the void in one fell swoop, feel the door of the fairy world, reach the longevity secret. If you say, take Nidan, repair the growing secrets, the odds are 1%. So the chance of this 7-story Xian Mendan is half the chance of being repaired. After cultivating to the peak of Shentong's 10-day rebellion, taking this 7-story Xian Mendan, half of the chance is to break through the longevity secrets. That chance is too great. Why are these 7 great kings completely separated, carrying this medicinal medicine? Fang Han marveled, because he could not be amazed. Half of the opportunity to break through the longevity secrets to become the giants of the ages, then the probability is too great. Maybe it's for balance. But then, our days may not be too good. Behind the 7 kings, there is a master who hates the emperor level. We are not opponents. We can crush us into powder. This is not afraid, we are in the exquisite blessings. What is the emperor? Exquisite Shenzhen, root hair, projected from the billions of stars, can defeat the smoke. Van Hoch, the emperor is not the opponent. My big beggar is good. I hope to be able to quickly reach the supernatural powers, and then take the 7 lives Xian Mendan. Fang Han collected the 7 goods and stored them. At the same time, they also collected the magic weapons that fluttered in the sky and counted them. This harvest is really huge. After a full day of inventory, I only counted out the next treasure, 7,000. Chinese goods treasure, 3,000 pieces, top quality treasures, 1,000 pieces. The best treasure, 64. There is no spirit in the storage space of the King of God, only treasures. However, there is no such thing. Even if it is a god, it is impossible to give someone a pass. As for the Taoist books, they are all some of the methods of cultivation that record the great gods. It is not very surprising. It is obviously these Protoss. When they traveled through the stars, they destroyed some scattered sects, captured the Taoist tales, and sent them out at will. It is used by the people. The medicinal herbs, in addition to the billions of black gods, serve as food for the devil. There is only 7 life Xian Mendan. This harvest is too big. It is worth hundreds of millions of medicinal herbs. Under this, we can shake the exquisite blessings. Who is rich? Ha 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 ha. Long smiled and smug. There is not much tension, the Protoss is really a group of good people. Fang Han also smiled smugly, with wealth on his body. It is not so cautious to go to Ling Long foodie. If there is no magic weapon, medicinal herbs, clean and tidy, it's really not good to go to the big sect of Ling Fu. Go? We are all on our way. Counting the harvest of the 7 great kings, Fang Han's heart is refreshing. A long shout, flying out of Huang Quantu, grabbed his hand, zoomed out, and entered his body skin, and he flew all the way. This flight, his speed has reached an unimaginable level. Faster than before. And much faster. After completing the Golden Dragon of 90 kinds of magical powers, he used his full force to fly and can reach 1,000 times the speed of sound. Now, with his easy flying, he can reach 1,000 times the speed of sound, and if he does his best, he even doubles. Reached 2,000 times. This is the power he has built into a half-undead body. The essence of the life of the 7 great kings, the seed of the true God, constantly expands his knowledge of the sea, and also causes his body to change. During the flying, all the pores of the whole body are opened, taking advantage of the heavens and the earth, the sea, a lot of sunflower water. The essence has entered his body. Hey, hey. A secret black line seems to be a large cutting technique. It has just passed over the island. The next moment, it appears on another island thousands of miles away. At the same time, Fang Han's high-speed flying, but did not cause a slight fluctuation. Mana fluctuations, flow fluctuations, were swallowed up by the big phagocytosis. He now seems to be a big cut in the whole person. The black line flashed, and the islands thousands of miles away were split into 2 halves. With this speed to kill people, the ancient giants of longevity and secrets had to drink a pot. If he really built into an undead body, this speed can cut open space. The longevity secret, the master who cultivated to the undead body, the next level, began to understand the law of space. The majestic mana spurred the operation of the golden dragons of the 90 kinds of magical powers, half the body of the undead body, as a carrier. Fang Han's current strength, steady and decent, ranking the first person under the mysterious secret. If He Qian did not step into the longevity secret, or the original level, Fang Han felt that he would fight with him and He Qian would be defeated. But it is still very difficult to kill each other. At least Fang Han wants to cultivate to the supernatural powers. Both sides are talking about the same realm. Killing a person is 10 times more difficult than defeating a person. Even if I have come across the long-lived mysterious giants, I also have the power of self-protection. And I feel that my golden Dan has been cultivated to the apex, and the fire is coming. Between the flying and the swept, Fang Han felt that his golden inside, the deepest core, hot heat brewing, seems to be the kind of dryness, the breeze together, the taste of the spark. With his 18 years of experience in the mysterious people of Taiyuan Xianfu, I know that the supernatural, big fire will come. This is the most terrifying of the monks. The wind and fire robbery is from the inside of Jin Dan. Once it is launched, the whole body is burning and the wind is in the air. The gods are withered and the blood is dry. However, if you pass through, Jin Dan will be tempered and will change into a metatire. Once you have enough energy, you can condense into the heavens and the earth. There are no levels in the supernatural powers. The only thing that needs is a lot of energy. Massive energy. Therefore, when Meng Xiaobai entered the supernatural powers, Jin Dan was tempered by the robbery, and he merged with the Peng Peng giant egg and cultivated the Yuan Peng Yuanshan. The exquisite blessing is here. In the rapid flight, Fang Han suddenly felt that there were countless Xianshan in front, which seemed to be a mirage. The exquisite blessings are overseas. Generally, the monks have to fly for several years, and they are not masters of the human beings. They simply do not fly overseas. After a while, the mana is exhausted and there is no place to settle. Falling into the sea, only to be buried in the belly of the fish, many monsters at sea, not good. However, with the master of Fang Han, he has become a half-dead body. Mana is tyrannical, and Jin Dan has 90 kinds of magical powers. It is not difficult to cross the sea. Even if you lift a mountain and surpass the ocean, it is not impossible. Some ancient monks in the ancient times bet on each other. There is an illusion to carry a giant mountain and surpass the 4 seas. For example, 2 masters, while using the power, move a mountain to see who flew the sea first, and whoever wins. The current Fang Han is close to the 100 million mana, and there is a tree of the world. If you are betting with a master who has just entered the longevity secret, it may not necessarily lose. Is this mirage? Is it in the exquisite blessing? It seems to be hidden in a void. If it is flying, it will never fly. It will be a long way to go. Fang Han looked at it and saw it. The mirage of the horizon is exquisite. The scope of the blessed land, but according to normal means, it is impossible to fly past. This involves the change of space. It is the third-born longevity secret that can be possessed. That is to say, according to the truth, as long as it is not the third most serious secret of the longevity, it is impossible to reach the exquisite blessings. However, although this is the truth, since the exquisite blessings clearly have a mirage, there are obviously flaws to look for. Otherwise there are so many people who come to Ling Long Shenzhen to worship the life, and they refuse to go out. What kind of life? The 3-year-old giant who has realized the mystery of the secret of space is qualified to do the teaching of the 10 Commandments. Just as the Fang Han looked carefully, suddenly there was a few changhorns in the distance, and every young rainbow showed a young monk. Each of them is high-spirited, and the eyebrows are obviously the masters who come to worship. It is not the giants of the ages, but the young talents who come to the exquisite and blessed to worship the life. They want to find opportunities, and they are connected with the exquisite monks. These young monks stayed in the square just a short distance away. Obviously, they also saw that the mirage of the exquisite land was impossible to fly. It was necessary to find some flaws in the space before they could enter. Among them, this is obviously a small test of exquisite land. If this kind of test can't pass, the mountain gate can't touch it, it is too weak, and there is no need to worship life. We are disciples of the Yuan school. Which Taoist is the master of the martial art? These young monks watched for a long time, did not see any clues, could not help but ask Fang Han. Fang Han glanced at it and saw that they were repaired as high, but they did not reach the fivefold, heaven and man, of Shentong. It is very difficult to find some space gaps in the mirage. This exquisite blessed land, hidden in a void of ***, usually not open, no one can go in, now Ling Long Shenzhen for 4,000 years of life, opened a virtual shadow. There are many space gaps, through the space gap it is a test that you can enter the mountain gate. If you can find those gaps, you will also improve the cultivation. Fang Han is not impatient, but points to these disciples. Carry forward and carry forward. Hey! A bunch of waste, even the mountain gates can't get in. It seems that the famous door is not very good. In the air, a big green phoenix flame came in the air, and a sun appeared. Wearing a golden robes, followed by a large group of followers. It is actually a master in the magic. Ling Gongzi? Fang Han saw it at a glance. This one wearing a green robes is actually a blood shadow, a superficial elder, and **** old man. It is because of the robbing of his 7 goods, the war to kill, the cultivation of, the second knowledge of the sea. Then he hired a thief to steal the thief, destroy the star thief, and slay the thief to kill himself. Make yourself rich and rich. First, I got Jin Dan, and later used Jin Dan to kill the ghost emperor. It can be said that his own development is because of the spiritual sun. Now even the Lingling sun came to worship, Fang Han suddenly felt a burst of joy. Also, in this sun, he really began to explode all the way. However, behind this spirit sun, there is a big **** old monster, Wangu giant. Fang Han now has a lot of enemies, too lazy to set up an enemy, a giant, especially the master of the older generation, he still cannot afford. Ling Gongzi? You are like this, it is simply throwing the face of my magic sect. We are geniuses, casual, and there are not so many rules and regulations. What is the devil? Directly refers to the nature, is the devil. Not like you, it's arrogant. A sound sounded up, and then the rain was over the sky, and there were white bones everywhere. In the middle of the bone lotus, there was a cold and proud boy. It turned out to be innate bones and gods. The devil of the congenital demon should be in love with the sky, obviously this time is also to give the exquisite fairy worship. For the devil, Fang Han is an old acquaintance. This child is full of genius, has long been built into the magic door Jin Dan, strong mana. When Fang Han has not yet completed the magical powers, he is famous for his name, and he is the admirer of Fang Qingxue. However, today's seeing, Fang Han suddenly saw it, this magical handsome mana, refined into a deep unfathomable point, actually is refined into a magical ninefold, the realm of heaven and earth. Obviously, the devil handsome has survived the raging fire, accumulating enough vitality, refining the heavens and the earth, and the life of the gods. Shentong is 9. The supernatural powers of the supernatural powers are hard to get through. Once you have passed, you will not lack strength as a devil. Soon it was refining the magical god. Of course, if it is Fang Han, even if you have weathered the raging fire, you must know how much energy you need when you want to consolidate the world and the earth. The golden dragons of the 90 kinds of magical powers, to become the law, the vitality needed, I am afraid that even the giants of the world will be shocked. Of course, even now the devil is refining into a supernatural power, the mana is unfathomable, but Fang Han does not care at all. He was only feeling in his heart. When he could only look up to the devil, he was able to kill it completely. The gap was one heaven and one underground. Ha ha, Fang Han. This devil is also out of the limelight, but it is not your opponent. Now, by your means, you can kill him 10 times in an instant. It may be more than 30 times. He even boasted of the gods, the heavens, and the earth. Why are you not allowed? Hey, laughing and laughing, would you like to go up and give him a lesson? What did you teach him? He and I have no conflicts of interest. Fang Han shook his head. In order to show his strength and out of the limelight to offend unnecessary enemies, he would never do such a person. Behind the devil is the congenital emperor should be congenital. Magical power is fascinating. The fairy magic fellow initiates, in the 7 lines of the magic road, in addition to the dead Huang Quan, the faintly ranked first in the magic road, the rest of the barbarous emperor, the red dust emperor, the shadow emperor, is not so human. Such a character, Fang Han naturally does not want to offend. This time, the people who come to visit the birthday of Ling Long Shenzhuan are all temperamental people. If you have a spirit son here, it is simply throwing the face of our magic sect, and let the disciples of the sects hate our sects. Let's go. Just between Fang Han and you, the devil talked to the spirit son. Magic handsome. Do not think that you have a high level of magic, you can send me a commander. Your old man is not the first person of the magic road. Where does the spirit son listen to the devil swearing, grab a hand, ******* sword appeared in the air come out, the powerful sword, actually condensed into a ****** devil, all the swords, the vertical and horizontal void, is the last blood soul sword. Unbeatable, but this sword has become a Taoist. And the King of Blood Knight has a rank of existence. Obviously it is the hard refining of the master of the longevity. Do you want to do this? Your old man actually has such a large amount of money, and turns the blood soul sword into a Taoist device. He has at least lost 1,000 years to repair it. The magical handsome eyes changed. But you have just cultivated to the supernatural powers. It's too extravagant for the heavenly world. It's too extravagant when I practiced in Jindan. But do you think that with a device, you can counter me? Ha ha, this bloodless sword is not my old refining, but the main lord, the Blood Shadow Emperor, has already smelted the blood pool into a perfect weapon. Our blood shadow magic, destroy the Shenhuang big world, all the creatures on a star 1 billion miles away, 1 billion humans. The blood pool is transformed. Then the blood souling sword is placed in the blood pool, and the blood-stained emperor accelerates the time. Year is 100 years, time of a child. This sword is successfully sacred, and a powerful instrumental spirit, a blood shadow, is born. Do you think that your cultivation is able to resist the power of this sword? When the spirit son was robbed of the magic weapon by Fang Han, it was still 4-way, yin and yang. Now I have cultivated into the heavens and the human world. Step into the ranks of real people. This may also be the reason why he was given to the Tao. No matter what, the master of heaven and earth is the backbone, because it can refine the spirit. The rule of the feather door is that whoever cultivates into the magical 5-day world, who can give the head a condition. Or go to the Shaoshuanji retreat. Between the words, the spirit sun runs the sword, and a sword smashes out. In the sky, all the clouds become blood. All the blood shadows, flying everywhere, one of the powerful Gorfians, surrounded by thousands of small Gorfians, savage to the magic handsome cull. The blood shadows of the articles penetrated into the seabed, and many of the creatures were swallowed up by the Gore Fiend. This blood-killing sword, once spread out, hundreds of miles, must be shrouded in blood, but all flesh and blood creatures will be sucked dry. Then enhance the power. This is the unique power of the Blood Shadow Morzone, the ancient demonization of blood and the gods. Hey! A few of the disciples of the Yuan dynasty were covered by many ***** creatures, and all the magic weapons were useless. The face showed a horrified look. Wherever Fang Han stood, more ***** devils roared. This blood-killing sword is nothing more than a lower-quality device. Although it is very rare between the heavens and the earth, the power can be increased by dozens of times after being possessed, and the lethality is increased many times. But with the power of the Spirit Sun, it's still impossible to deal with the devil. I don't move, look at the battle between the two. The ***** devils around him rushed, and the world of 100 miles became a world of blood, but Fang Han did not shoot, but only a little bit of mana. A glimpse of the phagocytosis was carried out, and all the Gorfians who had smothered themselves were swallowed up, turned into pure blood, infused into the 8 floating sects, and enhanced the power of the King of Blood Knight. No, now the King of Blood Knight, completely turned into a blood Buddha, the body of its own magic knife blood, and the Blood Dragon Crystal Mountain Peak into one. The current King of Blood Knight should be called Pudu Blood Buddha. Fang Han now, the power of the big phagocytosis, not to devour a little ***** demon, even if it is the Ling Gongzi, whole person, together with the blood destruction sword, the whole road swallowed, it is not unusual. But he did not move, but waited for it. Because, when the Ling Gongzi and Magic Shui battles, he also felt that the battle here attracted many people's attention. There are many powerful beings that come flying. Among them are the golden giants, the giants, the existence of the 9 heavens and the earth, and even the powerful hegemons who have changed their lives. Even Fang Han felt that some of the gods of the ancient giants infiltrated from the cracks in space and observed what happened here. After all, the strong volatility of a powerful Taoist device can attract a lot of attention. They are watching the battle. This time, the people who came to Ling Long Xianzang to worship the life, the 2 devils, the scattered between heaven and earth, and even the people of Judingshuan, Liu Daoming, and Qiandage came. What are the characters of Ling Long Xianzuan? 3,000 years ago, the world was created, and the martial art was created. There were countless killing masters, and the mana traversed the heavens and the world. Which one should not sigh? In addition to the people who are too one to come, this time to come to the birthday, it is a mixed bag, and it is very much. The battle between the devil and the spirit sun is naturally the joy of many people. Some people even want to make a big splash. Fang Han was swallowed up by some of the Gorfians, and quietly retired, reaching hundreds of miles away, not at all eye-catching. There is nothing in a piece of equipment. Look at me to break you. Magic Shui faces the impact of the blood magic sword, the silk does not move, the eyes flashed out of the ruin of destruction. Raise your hand and immediately turn into a space of dozens of miles, all collapsed and collapsed. Those **** swords and chiefs will dissipate in an instant. Great collapse. The devil's hand is a good show, and there is no magic. It is the same as big phagocytosis and large cutting. Plus the magic handsome immersed in this technique for many years. Cannot be more than a cold half of the means of hanging. However, the blood-killing sword has become a Taoist instrument. It has gathered a lot of souls and a blood shadow, and the existence of the Taoist level is not so easy to eliminate. And Fang Han looked out, this blood is killing the soul sword, it seems that there is a strange and fierce mana attached to it, adding its power. It was just as soon as it was smashed by the devil, and all the blood fog was gathered together. A ***** shadow rose and rose. The big hand was a **** magic light. It was a series of **** thunders and fierceness. Very incomparable. This blood shadow is more fierce than the King of Blood Knight, a long hair with a **** color, and the body constantly shows various distorted faces, especially between the mouth and the spit, a group of **** thunderballs, explosion, and out, every thunderball is mixed with the miserable sound of hundreds of millions of souls crying. A thunder. 10 thunder. Thousands of minds. Wan Lei. This **** shadow, a spit, actually shot 1,000 thunderbolt. Hu Shuaishan Lei. The magical face is cold, a white phantom rushes out of the body, and the change becomes a white bone demon. This white bone demon, the foot bone lotus, the whole body has 360 bones, each with a noble rune engraved on it. This white bone demon came out and suddenly suppressed the audience. The shadow of the shadow seems to have met the nemesis and is made into a ball by the light of the bones. Ah! Unexpectedly, the devil handsome has actually become a congenital white bone god, a supernatural power, a heaven and earth law. His **** is full of 38 kinds of magical powers, close to 40 kinds of magical powers. It is the leader of the magic door. Fang Han withdraws from the circle of battle, watching the battle between a group of white clouds on the sea thousands of miles away. Not far from him, there are also a few brilliances, showing several powerful monks, which are actually golden and small. Giant. A few Jin Den young giants, do not know whether it is a disciple or a disciple of the 10 Taoist temple. When I saw the magician flying out of the life of the god, I immediately admire it. Fang Han cannot help but be a bit surprised. The devil's innate white bone god actually contains 38 magical powers. More than a ghost emperor. And there are no supernatural powers, there are 9 kinds. The magic is tyrannical, covering the sky, and suppressing the Ling Gongzi, and the followers behind him, all gasping. I heard that when the exquisite fairy retired, the young talents will be tested, and then the female disciples who have left their own will pick those talents, and the strong ones who stand out in the competition of young talents will receive Ling Long Shenzhen. The reward will directly teach a supernatural power. A golden dragon is a small giant. Teach a supernatural power? There is nothing. It is extremely difficult to cultivate. It is impossible to cultivate. Even if it is a practice law, it does not know that it will take hundreds of years, even thousands of years to cultivate. Another person shook his head. What do you know? What is the exquisiteness of Ling Long Shenzhen? A supreme magical power. Others have to be hundreds of years. She can be successful in cultivation for only a few years. She teaches magical powers, is to directly cultivate the magical powers into your knowledge. In the middle of the sea, you have the power of this magical power between your fingers. What? Exquisite Shenzhen is so powerful? Even if we teach the supreme, we can't just pass the magical power to others. Exquisite Shenzhen is of course powerful, or how else it is possible to counter the whole Tai by one person. It is rumored that this time she has lived for 4,000 years, many monks outside the starry sky have come to celebrate his birthday. I have also heard of this time, exquisite Shenzhen, prepared 3 kinds of supernatural powers, rewarded to the young talents of Baisho. One seems to be Zuma Ancient Spirit, Da Pudu Zumguang, Sumi Mountain Wang Quan's, every door, has the power of breaking the sea and moving the mountain. It is equivalent to the magical power of 10, and it is cultivated against the realm of heaven. If I get one of them, the strength will increase several times. Whether this is the person who came here is not a tiger. I see that the devil is also trying to please Ling Long Shenzhen, get these 3 supernatural powers. With the strength of this person, it is really possible. Listening to these people's arguments, Fang Han knows that Ling Long Shenzhen's mana is so powerful that he still has to envy and admire her big handwriting. What is the concept of directly teaching supreme mastery? In other words, Fang Han can now pass on his own magical powers, such as the big fire and the black wind disaster, but he will lose this magical power forever. It will take decades, even hundreds of years, no day and night. Only after cultivation can I come back. Zuma Ancient Spirit? Big Pudu Zen Light? Sumiyama Wang Quan? That Big Pudu Zen Light, very useful to me. Let me practice myself. I am afraid that 300 or 500 years do not know that cultivation is not cultivated, but this the door magical power is the key to the spiritual symbol of the 5 elements. Could it be that this magical power is specially prepared for me by Ling Long Shenzhen? It is not difficult to force everyone with my strength. Fang Hanshin suddenly surged. I have a thought. At this time, on the sea, the devil and the spirit sun were basically separated, and the devil's innate bones and gods immediately suppressed the spirit of the blood-killing sword. The shadow of the shadows. A green blood sword was caught in his hand by his god, white flame, constant barbecue, and also surrounded the spirit sun and his followers. It turned out that these people must be refining together. Master, you still can't shoot. The spirit sun has been soaked all over the body, sweating, cannot help but mad. Then a follower behind him suddenly stepped out and originally looked up, even turned out to be a handsome face. It seems to be a change in the moment. Stepping out in his step, Jushinqian 100 face-sized blood lotuses emerged from the body. Every ***** lotus has 9 petals. In the middle of the lotus, sitting a ***** baby. Put your hands together and read the weird curse. Thousands of blood lotuses, thousands of ***** infants, weird curses. As soon as he stepped out, he immediately forced the devil's innate bones to retreat. Fang Han stood up and was shocked, because he felt that the supernatural power of this person was not in the first true disciple of the stars, and the stars were destroyed. Magic handsome. You are so aggressive, It seems that I have to shoot. The young man, who was dressed like a follower, with a ***** flame on his body, stepped out of it and put on a ***** robe. I know that you came here this time, and you are coming to the exquisite fairy statues and the three great supernatural powers. But this time, the three great supernatural powers are also in my bag. The Shadow of the Shadows, the first true biography, ranked 6th in the longevity candidate list, Blood Dance Young. When the devil looked at this person, he immediately recognized the identity of the person. Do you think that the three great supernatural powers are the things in your bag? Blood Wu Yang looked up and smiled. Of course, this time, on the longevity list, the top 3 masters will not come. Van Ho will not come, Smoke and Water will not come, Hua Qian will not. Even in addition to these 3 roles, I am not afraid of anyone. But I did not think of you, actually condensed into a congenital bone god. It seems that there is also a powerful device on your body. There is still another person. I am afraid it is your enemy. Have you heard that the Fang Han of the door is not cold? Fang Han sees Magic Shui mentioning himself, but it is a glimpse. However, now he is not showing his own face, but the magical effect of Yellow Spring Map and reincarnation. I changed my image slightly, and at the same time suppressed my cultivation to the Shentong 6 Zhongs, neither despising nor paying attention. Otherwise, Jin Dan masters the ancient giants, whoever has to look at them. It is easy to expose yourself. He believes that the devil can't see his own form now. After the hidden method of reincarnation, Hua Qian can't see it, and the devil can see it if he can see it. So when he mentioned himself, he was not moving. Yu Huamen Fang Han is killing Tai Im and Song Wei, Zhao Shuani, practicing the 5 emperors, and having a unique figure, Huang Quantu's character. He also defeated Meng Xiaobai and killed the ghost emperor. The first true disciple of the Blood Shadow Morzone, the Blood Dance Yang, stopped the hands, the pressure on the hand, all the blood and the light disappeared, and the income was in the sky. The magician stopped running the mana and put his hand on it. Yes, it is this sun. It is rumored that this son will come to Ling Long Shinzuan to worship this life. And the gift of birthday is a golden dragon of Tai Im and Song Wei. You say this to be able to ask for a lot of joy. The 3 great supernatural powers, Zuma ancient spirits, the great Pudu Zen light, the Mishan Wangquan, will definitely fall into his hands. What? He actually has such a courage, dare to give Jindan disciples Jindan to Ling Long Shinzuan as a birthday gift. This is simply lawless. Is he not afraid of a single chase killing? Feather Door cannot protect. He is rumored that the second son, though powerful, is still shallow, and he is supernatural. He does not know how to refining Jindan. If it is made into Jindan, it is still a bit tricky. He has 56 kinds of magical gold. Dan, the foot can match the magical heaven and earth law. Blood Wu Yang was shocked and had to admire the lawlessness of Fang Han, but I thought that Fang Hanxiu was still shallow and the realm was low, but it was not worried. The devil Handsome also received the innate white bone god, cold. You and I are fighting here. It is not worth the mana. Let others take advantage of it. This time to the exquisite fairy worship. In addition to Fang Han, there are also the 4th and 5th people on the list of longevity candidates. There are also many monks on the extraterrestrial stars close to the world of Xianhuang, such as Siwei Star, Emperor Star, Feng Yuexing. The strength of the masters is not in under the top 10 in the longevity list. Do you think that the blood is dancing, the whole body is iron? Can you hit a few nails? The monks on the stars outside the Xianhuang Great World are also coming? Ziwei Star, Emperor Star, Feng Yuexing. There are masters on it. Yeah, you are right. We fight outside the mountain gate. It is not a big deal. People laughed. Blood Dance Yang ha, shouted, turned into a long-awaited Chang Hong, directly wrapped up the spirit of the son of the shadow of the emperor, into the mirage of the exquisite land. With such a master, he is close to the Van Ho giant and is even higher than the Star Evil on the longevity list. Naturally, he can find a gap in space and enter the mountain gate of the exquisite land. The magical body moved and disappeared. The atmosphere of the original swordsmanship was dispelled, and it was solved by the devil's handsome words. Moreover, the contradiction was transferred to Fang Han, and Fang Han's heart was screaming. I wanted to see a good show, but I can't see it now. Fang Hanjing also entered the gap in the space. Not far from him, some powerful monks talked about it, talking about a woman wearing a purple sand coat, who is Fang Han. Can he kill the Jindan small giant who is 2-1? Do you still take the other party's Jindan as a birthday gift? Tai is the world of Xianhuang, the first sect, with the fairy, the power shocked the 8 poles Fang Han actually, and this door is right. Xian Shamai lived on the Emperor's star and practiced. It is not a person in the world of Xianhuang. I don't know what happened in the recent Xianhuang big world. The Fang Han has been in the limelight recently. He was the first person who won the martial arts 3,000 years ago. Huang Quan, the emperor of Huang Quan, was refining the 5 emperors. However, this person was prepared to be shallow, and he was 6-handed. He didn't know how to cultivate Jin Dan. If he did not cultivate Jin Dan, it would not be difficult to defeat him. Huang Quan 2, the perfect product, the power is endless, there are some tricky. This purple sandcoat woman is next to a yellow shirt man interface. Hey! Your news is too backward. I know some of Fang Han's recent secrets. This is not so easy to deal with. He will definitely be a golden dragon, or else he will not come to worship. And this is not the most powerful. His cultivation, but his scheming. Rumors of this child, the eyeball's turn, is 1,000 tricks, all kinds of conspiracy. The Ghost Emperor is calculated by him. If he is a golden dragon, he can expand the sea, refining ghosts the Emperor's 9 ghost gods. How powerful are you saying? A man wearing a large robe and holding a black steel whip in his hand was cold and his face was painted. The black steel whip in the man's hand is somewhat similar to the wind white feather war ***** whip. However, the war ***** whip is the instrument of the ancient war god, but also a natural god, not a Protoss. God of War is the ***** born in the human war, just like the water god, Lady and the electric mother. God of War is a good quality device. Obviously, the black steel whip in the man's hand could not be the upper grade. What is the easy way to get the top grade? However, the man's dark steel whip, there is no trace of mana fluctuations, it is like the secular, ordinary pure steel whip, but because of this, it is even more horrible, obviously as surpassing the existence of the treasure. The strength of this man, at least on the longevity list, can enter the top 20. What? Refining the ghosts of the ghosts? Isn't it possible to get all the repairs of the Ghost Emperor? How could he refine it? Is his knowledge of the sea so big? Not afraid of brainstorming? And the Ghost Emperor was killed by him. It is impossible for even the self-destructive gods to do it. The woman in purple gauze was shocked. This is the magical use of Huang Quan 2. It is rumored that there are 3 big arrays in Huang Quan's picture. The first one is called the Door of a Nasal. Once it is pulled, no matter what the master is to be lost by the boundless pain. A bridge of nostalgia, suppression 10 parties and 5 elements. There is also a reincarnation of the disc, which is even more mysterious. It is one of the most overbearing and fierce arrays between heaven and earth. Huang Quan, the great emperor of the year, did not know how many monks who received the monks, Jin Dan. If you want to deal with Fang Han, you must restrain his Huang Quan map. The man with the black steel whip in his hand warned. Go, let's go in. During the discussion, these people also entered the gap of space and reached the imaginary mirage. Looking at the monks flying all over the sky, all kinds of powerful magic weapons, Fang Han frowned. I don't think I have become the target of the public. This time is not only the fairy magic of the Xianhuang big world, but even the demon road has come. The stars outside the Xianhuang great world. There are also a lot of masters on the top. I want to stand out from the crowd and get the 3 great supernatural masters of Ling Long Xinzuan. Although there is no difficulty, I must offend many people. In one heart, I turned around various calculations, conspiracy, and I also found a gap in the space and jumped in. Bang! A powerful space storm, rotating in the air, Between the two, Fang Han came to the mirage, and saw the boundless white clouds floating in the void. Everywhere is the sea of clouds. In the clouds between the sea, a huge island, Xianshan, stands, all kinds of palaces, fairy birds, spirit beasts, all running in the clouds. Even, you can see a strip of golden dragons, haunted between the clouds and the sea. Sometimes the clouds come out, sometimes hidden under the clouds. In the sky, a powerful multicolored eagle swayed into the sky and made a 9-day whistle. Those colorful eagle, born of the phoenix and other birds, are born with copper and iron bones, which are extremely beautiful. It is more capable of spitting flames and melting rocks. The masters of the mysterious secrets may not be able to clean up. Huge space. Rolling the clouds. Xianshan, the archipelago. Dragon, colorful eagle. All of this constitutes the mountain gate of the exquisite land. It's just a slap in the face. This is much more magical than the Taiku Shishan Gate of the Star Gate, which is much more magical than the Yuhua Temple of the Feather Gate. Open up a void, create a sea of clouds, and raise an infinite fairy mountain, an island, which is equivalent to directly opening up a world. There is no doubt that this is the means of exquisiteness. Exquisite and blessed, there is nothing too elder. What the background? It is Ling Long Xianzuan who alone supports the overall situation. With one's own strength, contend with the one that owns the fairy, and turn it over to cover the cloud as rain, and there is no horror. In the center of the tens of thousands of Yunshan Xianshan Islands, Fang Han looked far away and saw a huge mountain of greatness. This mountain presents a shape of a square, directly inserted into the void, and the mountain presents a faint golden color. Up to 1,000 feet, people in front of this fairy mountain, is a fine dust. That is the Mount Jinshan where Ling Long Xianzuan lived. The rest of the Xianshan Islands are the islands that her younger disciples have built. It is rumored that this must be the Golden Mountain, which is a perfect tool that is close to the fairy. Imagine that Ling Long Xianzuan once used this mausoleum to survive the death of a Taishang elder, Tu Yuqian. The magical power of Ling Long Xianzuan doesn't know how? How much is the cultivation of the longevity secret? It seems that it is not far from the Supreme Fairy. I don't know if she will fly into a fairy. Enter the origin of the heavens. If she entering the fairy world, the disciples under the door are only afraid of being wiped out by Tai. The realm of Ling Long Xianzuan is not what we can guess. We are far from the longevity secret and become a great distance for the giants of the ages. I don't know if I can cultivate, not to mention the illusory fairy. Fang Han is observing the various situations of the exquisite and blessed land in the sea of clouds. The monks around him whizzed past and flew over to the mountain. He tried to open his own mind and heard a lot of secrets.